Okay. So I will start sharing my screen now. Okay. And I will mute you for a while so that the recording doesn't have any background noise, but I will let you unmute yourselves when you want to talk. Okay. So I'm muting you for now. I hope I can do it. Okay, more people are coming.
Written to die after contracting COVID-19. The sex offender was an inmate of HMP Little A in Cambridgeshire. Died in hospital on Sunday.
Okay, this is the mute is a wonderful button that I wish we had in real class to mute our students uh, and unmute them whenever we want. Somebody's saying something on the chat. Okay, so today's workshop is initially it was made for asynchronous tools, but then by using synchronous tools, I enriched it. So you will see the latest version of it. So what we're going to do is at the beginning, I will give you a brief description of synchronous tools, and then we will move to asynchronous tools, and we will look at platforms and the platform I've been using, specific tools on how to teach specific skills. And throughout all this, I'll be giving you examples from my own experience. And then, of course, we will have a Q&A session. In the meantime, if you have questions, you can post them on the chat, and I will stop at different times during the presentation to discuss your questions with you. Now, let's look at the terms first, synchronous and asynchronous. Synchronous is what we're doing right now. So it's live. It's like face-to-face. We don't have physical interaction, but it's happening at the same time. That's why it's called synchronous. And asynchronous is when you send or upload things for your students to do in their own time. So for synchronous education, there are many tools. The most popular one, of course, is Skype, but it's not the best one. Cisco WebEx is a very good one, but you need to buy a certain package to have a lot of rights and to make it useful for your classrooms. There's another one which is called Big Blue Button, which is also very good, but you need to buy it. I have found out by looking around that the most practical one for teaching English is Zoom, and it's the best value for money because it's free, basically. I have bought the pro version only for one reason, for my webinars, for my teacher training, but just for teaching our students, Zoom, the free version is more than enough. Now, so I want to show you how Zoom works. Okay, so let me, it has some great features. Sorry. Okay, so I will go to our meeting. And I will share a different screen. I will share the whiteboard. So now what we can do is use this whiteboard to write whatever we want. Like present anything we want to our students. Underline. Ask questions and, make points about anything we want, highlight, make some shapes and write things inside. And of course, and most importantly, if you have your interactive software, book software on your computers, the best thing you can do is you can share it with your students, as I will show you now. So I have it here. Sorry. This is from the Oxford books I've been using, but it's good with any book. So I will open this one, let's say. And you can use it with your students as if they're looking at your board. You can do the listening.
Page 101. Grammar in use. D. Listen and read along.
And I mean, with all the publishers I'm using, with Oxford, Pearson, Cambridge, Express Publishing, you can use it. You can have your students actually do an exercise and correct it with you. Like, let's see here. Okay, so whatever you would do on your whiteboard, you can do on your Zoom screen, and your students will be sharing your screen, watching, and there is, if you get the pro version, there is this feature that they can also share the board, so you can invite them to write on the board if you want. Another great feature that I'm going to use with you right now is called breakout rooms, and now I'm going to unmute you, so now you can all speak. I'm going to ask you a question, and I'll put you in rooms to do some group work. So I want you to discuss with your partners the question, what is one good thing that has happened to you during lockdown? And now I will have you in rooms. Sorry. Breakout rooms. Το φτιάχνω εγώ. Έχω when you have 3 dots in your menu and it says breakout rooms, but let me, for some reason, wait, I'll do it. Okay, so you're 8. I'm gonna put you in 2 rooms, so 4 and 4. And now you're in your room, and you discuss the question I just asked. Discuss with your partner one good thing that has happened to you during lockdown. I cannot hear you. If I want, I can visit one of the 2 rooms and then go to the other, but I cannot hear you while you're discussing in your rooms. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do that, and then I'll call you back.
Okay.
So you're in your rooms now.
Hello.
Okay. Avi, which is my room? Sophia? No.
Yes,
we're together and everything.
and Eleni.
Eleni, okay. Let me join.
And now we're back all together.
Mhm.
Did you discuss?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me. See, it's cool.
How
I
did
know.
you break
Very nice.
how did you break the rooms?
Okay, you have the Zoom menu,
Yes.
and can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, can you see the Zoom menu at the top of my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you see where it says more here, 3 dots.
No, we can't see that.
You have to move your mouse. You have to move your mouse. Move it a bit at the top of the screen.
Can you see it now?
No.
No.
No, we
Okay.
can't.
I will send you a screenshot. It's where you have your Zoom menu. The last thing it says is more, and it has 3 dots.
Mm-hmm.
And when you click there, you scroll down. The 5th thing you can do is breakout rooms. It's very easy.
Thank you.
So, like,
Okay, thank you.
but when you get the recording of this, you will see it. Okay, because now I'm recording my screen, so you will see what I'm doing. It's really cool. Now, okay. So what did you discuss? I need one person from each group to tell us what you talked about. One good thing.
Shall I speak from break out room too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we all said and we all agreed that we had more time with our family and our friends, and we had time to tidy up, organize, have time with our kids, study together, bake together, eat together.
Okay, thank you, Vespina. So quality time with our family is one good thing out of this nightmare. What about the other room? Would like somebody to share? Would somebody like to share?
Yes. The same, this is what we shared in our room as well. Most of us said that we like the fact that we enjoy our family moments together and that we had more time. We are now having more time to sleep.
Yes, that too.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know about you girls, but what I feel is that I don't have that much time, like, because I normally do not do housework. Going back to housework is a nightmare, and I feel it takes up a lot of time. So I miss those beautiful days when I could pay for someone to do it. Because it takes a lot of my time, and I never realized how time consuming it is.
Yes, but Maria, you can actually find things in your wardrobes and cupboards that you didn't know they were there.
Exactly. And jewelry I never know existed.
Discovery.
Yes,
Discovery season.
Okay. So this is what you can do with Zoom. You're just experiencing it, and it's quite cool. Now, let me tell you some, I will, before showing you this, what we can do with what we call Zoominar. Zoominar is a new word. We coined it to talk about what we do with Zoom. Instead of webinars, we say Zoominars. And with our students, we can Zoom it, and we're Zooming it. But if you want to use a Greek expression, a word play in Greek, I say mexezoumisate. When we finish the session on Zoom. Okay, so one thing you can do is share your screen and present your lesson. Another thing you can do is dictation. And how you can do it, you can either read out, you can read out something, they can write it, and then you can either show them the correct form and ask them to mark themselves, which is great. They love it. And they're quite fair, let me tell you. And you also teach them a life skill, which is self-evaluation. Or you can actually, if you have not that many students, you can ask them to show it to you on their camera, Or you can ask them to type the words in the chat of Zoom, so to write their dictation in the chat, and you check it from there. You can ask them to read aloud one by one, and you can mute everybody and have only the person who's reading aloud unmuted, which is great because
Maria, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sure,
When
sure.
When you mute them and somebody reads, can they hear him?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
They can hear everything, but we cannot hear the background noise or their voices, so it's great.
Okay.
So you can, for example, unmute two students together and ask them to do some choral reading.
Mm-hmm.
You can do pronunciation exercises. We did quite a lot of them, and I will show you how. And you can correct exercises with them through your interactive whiteboard software. You can present, of course, things on the board, grammar, vocabulary, whatever you want. You can show PowerPoint presentations as a lesson, as you would show it on your board. You can discuss questions. Yesterday, we had a class of 32 deeper learning students. They're all teenagers, and it was amazing. And the work they produced in an hour was unbelievable. But I will also show you pictures with young learners and how well it can work with them as well. You can do exam prep. You can show, if you go to ISU, it's called ISU, sorry. It's a great site. I will show it to you now. Okay, it's this one, ISSW, ISU, or ISU, I don't know how it's pronounced. Here you can find books that are uploaded as slides. And for example, I found this from Cambridge. So with my B2 class, I can do some exam prep through this. I can show it on my screen. I can give them time to complete the answers, or I can send it to them to do it for homework, and then we can analyze it together and explain it. If you have test books with interactive material, you can actually, I mean, I know Express Publishing does have, I don't know, maybe other publishers as well. If you have, however, HAU books for ECC or ECP that do not have an interactive component, there are two things you can do. The one is scan them or take pictures and upload them on your screen as PDFs, which is okay. Or you can just tell your students to do the exercise, the test, give them the answers, and then analyze orally. But of course, it's better to have a visual. So a good idea is to scan it. Just take a picture of the pages you want them to be looking at, and you upload them on Zoom as PDFs by screen sharing. So, and where's my presentation?
Μαρία, να σου κάνω μια ερώτηση.
Βεβαίως.
Για το issue, εκεί έχει ανεβασμένα βιβλία όλων των επιπέδων.
It has books from all kinds of levels. You can find young learners tests, but you don't find all publishers. So, I mean, Cambridge, of course, because it's huge, you can find, but you cannot find all publishers.
Another question about that. Is there an answer key for these tests as well?
Yes. It's a teacher's book, yes.
It's the teachers. Can the students find the answer key?
No, because you have to subscribe to ISU. It's free of charge, but you subscribe as an educator, and you get access to this material. The students cannot do it.
Great.
Okay. So, sorry, let me go into, okay. So as we said, you can mute and unmute your students, and you can use the breakout rooms for pair and group work. So you can ask them to prepare a mini dialogue or to do brainstorming on something and come back to you and share it. Another great thing you can do, both in synchronous and asynchronous teaching, is Mentimeter. I will ask you to get your phones now. Wait. And I will go to Mentimeter. Has any one of you ever used Mentimeter?
No.
If you seen me, if you have seen me on live presentations in real life, you know it because I've been using it a lot. Sorry, let me reset results. Okay, now you go to menti.com and you use the code 22298. I'll do it as well. Menti.com. And it will ask you for a code.
Yeah.
And you insert 22298.
So it looks like a hoop.
It's
great.
no. It's try to answer the question.
No.
When do you think schools will open?
All right.
Oh, okay.
And you submit. Oh, we have an optimist and a pessimist.
I'm the
Okay,
pessimist.
so we're totally split. Who is the one who answered September?
Me.
Εγώ δεν πρόλαβα, αλλά Σεπτέμβρη θα έλεγα.
Okay, so now click on refresh and you have a next question. Okay. You have the next question if you click on refresh. How are you feeling these days? You can write up to 3 words. Wow. So it creates a word cloud, and the larger a word is, the more people have answered it. So I used it to do brainstorming with my B2 students before a text or before a writing task. So you can, and it creates a nice word cloud. Let's see what we've got. I mean, we have good things here. Relaxed, positive, happy, worried comes forth with ups and downs, anxious but happy, engaged. Ooh, I like that one. Stress, creative. So here our word cloud is a combination of good things and bad things. And let's answer. Let's do the last one. Write one good thing that has changed in your life due to the lockdown. And you already said it, but I want you to write it down now. Here at the bottom of the page, you can see how many people have answered.
But you don't know who wrote what.
No, you don't know who wrote, but it doesn't matter because this is a great pre-writing exercise. Yeah. So for example, we were discussing toxic masculinity with my B2 class, and I asked them to give me examples of toxic masculinity because their essay was going to be about it. So we used this, and they use their phones because they love it, and they wrote beautiful examples that they then use for the writing task. Or you can use it to write things for and against a topic. So, and this is Mentimeter. It's free again. Basically, everything I will show you today is free. I mean, I'm not going to show you anything that you have to buy, to spend money for. Okay, so going back to Zoominers, some general, yes? Okay, some general guidelines on, I'll switch off the camera because maybe it doesn't help. Sorry. Okay, some general rules on online teaching netiquette, το πρωτόκολλο. Okay, first of all, we don't teach in our pajamas or, you know, like totally shabby, because it's our students and they need to see us as they see us at school. Okay, you can be barefoot or you can be wearing your socks or your underwear, but what they see, this part, has to look decent. Okay.
I understand that.
Another thing is that make sure there's quiet around you. You unplug your phone, or you have on silent your cell phone. You ask your family to be quiet, and it's good to tell them that they should be doing the same. So I don't want to teach in a class where I can hear the father yelling at the mother and the mother yelling at the little sister. So you need to teach them that when it's lesson time, the family has to respect it. Like when it's work time for the parents, the children have to respect it. And also make sure that whatever your background is also decent. So, I mean, you don't have the poster of your favorite TV star naked behind you.
You can use the virtual background of Zoom as well.
Yes, yes. But I'll tell you why I think it's nice for them to see your house. If you want. I mean, because it makes them feel connected. Also, students love gossiping about teachers. So give them something. Now, during your lesson, all your social media or emails or anything personal on your computer needs to be shut down, because you might have this great instant message from Tinder, but we don't want our students to see it. Also, be careful what you have on your desktop. If on your desktop you have something like hot pics from last summer. Okay. Also, we never use capital letters when we write online. Capital letters mean shouting. Our students know that. They're digital natives. They're not like us. And they know that. So don't use capital letters unless you want to shout. Now, some great tools you can use for your synchronous lessons are Film English. Today I created a whole PowerPoint presentation based on Film English, a lesson plan they had there. Just you put the steps down in a PowerPoint. I added the video and that's it. I have a fantastic lesson ready for my students in B1 later today. You can use Learn English Kids or Learn English Teens from the British Council that has great lessons and enriched with videos and games on any grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation point you want. Issue, we talked about it. Kahoot Live, that I will show you in a minute, and Mentimeter that I already showed you. By the way, Mentimeter can also be used asynchronously, which means that you can ask the question, you can give them the code for menti.com, and they can go in their own time and write their answers. It doesn't have to be at the same time.
Can you set a deadline?
No, you cannot set a deadline. This you can do with Kahoot. I will show it to you now. So Kahoot can be used in real time with Kahoot Live, but you can also create Kahoot challenges. So if you go to create.kahoot.it, and let's say you want to give them a Kahoot on past simple. You go to Discover, you will find like 150,000 Kahoots on past simple. It's a very popular topic. Ναι, άπειρα. Okay, you open the one you want, and you can change it as well. You can make whatever changes you want. You go to play, and then you don't choose host live, you choose create challenge. You click on create challenge, and then here is Eleni, where you can set a deadline. So I want this challenge to end on Sunday, the 5th of April at 12 p.m. You click on create, and then you send your students the link. They do it from here in their own time, and you check the result when the deadline is finished. And then you can see their scores if you go to reports. So I'll show you. I had a Kahoot on, we're going on a bare hand with my A senior, 50 students did it. And you can see the top 5 for the results here. But if you want to see how everybody did per question, you go on the right where it says download, and you have an Excel with different sheets with all the results in detail per question per student. I mean, I don't know why you would need that, but if it's like something you taught and you want to check who got it and who didn't, it might be useful.
Great.
Thank you, Maria. This is really useful.
It's great. And they love it as well. They always
Yes,
do.
they love Kahoot. Yeah.
Do they have to download it?
No. Just they put it on their browser. No, you don't need to have an email. They don't need to download it. Nothing. Obviously, Mentimeter is for higher levels. Okay, Kahoot Live is for everybody. Okay, now these are examples from our young learners. This is a junior, and see how interactive it can be. So the teacher was Annie here, and she asked us to, it was a scavenger hunt, and she said, I want you to find, because we did food on that lesson, a fruit or a carton of milk. So all the students ran to their fridges or to their kitchens, and they brought something on camera. Then when she did classroom objects, she asked them to show her a pencil, and then an eraser, and then, you know, different things. So, and this is really good, because think of what the psychological and the emotional impact on the students, that we're doing something and we're moving around, and it's not that bad. I mean, we might not be in class, but we can still do things that we were doing in class, like a scavenger hunt. And here I was with my students, and we did dancing dictation. Now, we could not dance, but I had a song, and I asked them to dance with their hands like this. And when I was stopping the music, they had to freeze. And whoever would not freeze was asked a question, be it vocabulary, pronunciation, something. And if they answered correctly, they would get a second chance. So, and they loved it as well. I had amazing feedback from parents, like, thank you for what you're doing for our children. They were laughing, they were happy, they were cheerful. Now, yes.
Can I ask something about listening? When you insert a CD in your computer, can they listen to it? Can they listen it?
They can listen,
to it.
Yes, they can. I mean, I don't have a CD on my computer. I can't have a CD on my computer. I have a Mac, but yes, they can, and they can also listen all videos from YouTube, the software from my books. They can listen to everything. Another thing I wanted to show. Yes, another thing we did was a pronunciation exercise. I'll show it to you. This one. So I said. These are minimal pairs, right? Mm-hmm. So I said, when I say the word from the first column, you clap your hands. When I say the word from the second column, you do this. And it worked. It had great results, and they were laughing all the time. So I would say, for example, number 1, sleep. And they would do this. Number 2, ship. And they would do this. And you can actually see them on their screens, and you know who's getting it and who's not getting it, and you can repeat. And then I had them in pairs to read the words out loud. I was muting everybody else, and then it was like choral drilling, but and then the whole class together as well. You can do a choral drilling with the whole class together. Let me go on. Now, any questions on synchronous learning so far?
How do we get them? How do we invite them to write on the whiteboard?
Okay, I will send you a link with a mini video describing it. It's like a 1-minute link. It's very easy.
Thank you.
I'm just not sure it can work with the non-paid version. I'm not sure. I need to check because I have the pro.
I've got the pro as well.
Okay. So I'll send you the video. I've got it on a link.
Μαρία, στο Zoom έχει κάποια updates για να έχει καλύτερη απόδοση, να έχει περισσότερα tools. Είσαι in favor, δηλαδή καλύτερα να πάρουμε τα updates, να τα κάνουμε με κάποια πληρωμή.
I have, you were not here at the beginning, I think when I said it, I bought the pro version,
Okay.
but I only bought it for my webinars, for teacher training. I think that for students only, the free version is enough. What it has is you can teach up to 40 minutes, but online time is not the same as real life time. So 40 minutes of lesson online is equal to 1.5 hours of face-to-face lesson. So you don't really need more than 40 minutes. And if you need more than 40 minutes, you can stop the meeting, have a break of 10 minutes, and then get another 40 minutes. It also gives you up to 50 participants per time, the free version. So, but for my webinars, teacher training, I obviously needed more than 40 minutes. So that's why I bought the pro version. I don't think you need it for your... Καλά, δεν είναι και τίποτα φοβερό. Ξέρω εγώ 10 ευρώ το μήνα. Δηλαδή, για τους 3 μήνες που θα είμαστε έγκλειστοι, δεν είναι φοβερό να το αγοράσει. 13, okay. You can buy it for a month and then forget about it. Because hopefully...
Can I say something?
Yes. Eleni.
Yes, well, I'm reading, you know, all the policy stuff about all these learning management platforms, and I just wanted to ask if we need a written consent from parents in order to use Zoom.
If you're not recording it, you don't need it. If you are recording it, you do need it. But practically speaking, children cannot enter Zoom on their own. Teenagers can. But for example, we as a school, we send all the information to the parents' email. So if the parents don't want their children to join the lesson, they just won't. So just have the first communication with the parent, and the moment they switch on their computer and they enter Zoom, it's their decision. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
But another big thing is, in these times, what happens with GDPR in general, or with privacy in general. So this is another huge discussion that you can have with your advanced learners, in fact. Okay, let's move to asynchronous learning. Now, in my opinion, and this is how it has worked for us, you cannot just do synchronous. You need a combination of synchronous and asynchronous. So what we do is we have 2 lessons a week that are asynchronously delivered, so students complete them in their own time, and 1 hour a week where we meet to have a real-time lesson, a synchronous lesson. And it works really well. Okay, with classes. I don't talk about private lessons, with classes. Now, for our asynchronous meetings, we're using Edmodo, which is again an LMS, a learning management system. It's free of charge, and it's very, very user-friendly. You create a teacher account, very simple. And then you add classes. You go to the button here, create class. You give a name to your class. You select a grade if you want, a color, and your class is ready to be created. And here, for example, is my A senior. And then you start inviting people. When you click on invite people, it will give you a screen like that. You download the handout and you send it to parents. And I mean, the only thing we did is we translated it in Greek so that parents and students knew exactly what they had to do. They have a code. They don't need an email. Students don't need an email to join Edmodo. They just need this code. As I told them, this code is like the key to your classroom door. So you enter the code, you enter the classroom. The code is not individual, it's per class, exactly like the key to the classroom door.
So I'm sorry, again, they go online and they enter the Edmodo class with their code.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
And then on your Edmodo class page, you start uploading links using different web tools to build your lesson. Now, a little bit of methodology. When it comes to online teaching, things are not exactly the same as in real life teaching. So whatever lesson plan we create, it has to be well structured and meet the needs of the new environment. It has to be shorter, definitely shorter, but also tighter. Especially with young learners, it's very easy to lose their attention. So we want them to know what to do step by step, and we need to know what to do step by step. But also we need variety, because if it's just the teacher speaking and the students writing in their notebooks, we will lose them. So another thing to have in mind is that the learner experience should not be passive consumption of screen time. When we post our links on the asynchronous platform, we need to make them do things that are interesting. Also, as language educators, we have to integrate all skills and all systems. And of course, as educators, we also need to somehow track progress, because it's not just 2 weeks away from our students, it might be 2 or 3 months. So we need to be able to see how well they have acquired new things or revised all things, and we need to see how well they've done that. And of course, we need to add the human element. That's why I said before, try to use your real background. And okay, so this is the structure of the lesson that we've been using. It's a PPT present. Sorry. Okay, so we have a question from Theano. I will answer the questions. Okay, I will answer it now. Theano is asking in the chat, how do you convince parents that the lesson has to be shorter? I mean, simply quote me, said I did a webinar with an expert, and she said that. And if you look in the literature, in research literature on online teaching, it's everywhere. So generally, how to convince parents is a big question in all cases. How to convince parents to play games, how to convince parents to sing songs, how to convince parents not to give the grammar rules in Greek. So use scientific arguments. Okay. And say, Dr. Maria Davu, with whom I did a webinar, said that Dr. Πώς τον λένε τον άλλον που έκανε, ο Νίκος Οσυφάκης, who did a webinar, said that. Dimitris Primalis, who did. So use the experts. Okay. I mean, if you want, use imaginary experts as well. When my son was in Tρίτη Λυκείου, he didn't have φροντιστήρια at all, μέσης εκπαίδευσης. So towards the end, a little bit before the Panhellenic exams, I said, okay, just to make sure you're on the right track, let's call a friend of mine who's a philologist to see how you're doing with writing. So he started writing this Panhellenic exams, εκθέσεις, ξέρω, που είναι τελείως μασημένη τροφή, και έγραφε βλακίες του τύπου, όπως λέει ο γνωστός επιστήμονας Χάφελ-Πάφελ, το 80%. And the philologist told me, και ήταν και διορθώτη, πολύ ψαγμένο παιδί, πού τις έχει όλες αυτές τις γνώσεις? And it was all made up. Δεν υπάρχει κανένας επιστήμονας Χάφελ-Πάφελ. So use the same with parents. Όπως λέει ο Noam Dumbledore. Okay, so this is the structure of the lesson. It starts with a hello video with the teacher, recorded. Then a presentation of our book pages with screen recorder. Θα σας δείξω πώς γίνεται αυτό και σας δίνω και ένα link για να το βρείτε στον υπολογιστή σας. And then we move to the practice stage where we upload quizzes. Τεράστια χάρη που ζητώ από όλους. Do not upload Word documents or PDFs. This is not online education. Online means interactive. If I upload a Word document that the parent has to print out, the student has to complete, then they have to scan it, then they have to send it to us. They're not going to do it. If they're going to do it, it's going to be just once. It's a waste of time. And there's no reason. We have quizzes that are interactive. You can create online. You get exactly what you would have on a piece of paper. You do in a quiz, and it's more fun, and you get instant results, and nobody has to go through all this hassle. And then, of course, after the practice stage, we have production stage, which is the most difficult. For oral production, there are certain tools we can use, and for written production, other tools we can use. And of course, you need to enrich your lesson with extras like stories, YouTube videos, TED Talks, depending on the level, and so on. So to record your screen, if you have a Mac like me, you do it through QuickTime Player, and you just click on screen recording, and you also record your voice. And when I send you the webinar, you will use this link with instructions. It's a video with instructions on how to record your screen on Windows and an audio. Now, some tips: we speak clearly. We make pauses because our learners are not next to us to guess from gestures and facial expressions. We try to be as natural as possible, as if our students are actually there. We can ask them to repeat after us. I'll show you examples. We can ask them to underline important stuff, and it's the only time when it's okay to use the first language, because really, they might not get it, especially with lower levels. So you might have to say some things in Greek. Όχι και όλη την ώρα όμως. Λοιπόν, I want to show you now an Edmodo page and see how it works.
Do you send a different password every time they have to?
No. Είναι, είπαμε, σαν το κλειδί τους. Το κλειδί της τάξης τους. They have one and it's always the same key.
So you cannot disable it afterwards?
You can disable it if you want.
Oh, okay.
But you don't have to. I mean, I don't disable it because I want you to. I mean, the best thing about it is because Edmodo looks a lot like Facebook, but it's educational, of course. The great thing about it is that they write comments, even the little ones. Δηλαδή, κάνουν και λίγο social interaction. Γράφουν, oh, you're kidding me. Διάφορα έτσι σχολιάκια. So, this is Edmodo. This is my page. I go to classes. And here I have all the classes I have created for my students. And let's go to a senior, for example, that we saw before. So every time I have a lesson, I write new lesson. and the things they have to do, which is exactly what I said before. So, θέλω να σας δείξω από το βιβλίο τους ένα παράδειγμα. Όλα αυτά που βλέπετε είναι links με quizzes, με challenges. Sorry. Books stories they can read, but I want to show you a full lesson. Okay. Sorry, guys. You can create polls, like how are you feeling today? It's very much like Facebook in terms of Okay, so we said we start with the video with the teacher. Okay. Which is something like that. Guys, welcome to the second A-regular lesson online. I hope you're all well, you're feeling good, and that you're super happy and excited. Now, click on the next link to start your lesson. Love you guys. Okay, so this is the first thing. Then they watch the video with the lesson presentation. So we said it's PPP, presentation, practice, production. Our second lesson for A regular. How are you today? I want you to open your workbook and go to page 92. This was your homework, Unit 11, page 92. Did you do the exercises? If you didn't do them, it's okay. We'll do them together. Let's see. The first one is the example, and it's milk. What is number 2? So simply we go through their homework, we correct together, and when we finish that, we go to their student's book. There was a listening here. And I want to show you what I did.
Farmer Flores, can we eat the fancy hat and the beautiful dress? Mrs. Flores asks. No, we can't, says the farmer. We need our cow. Farmer Flores takes the dress and the hat back to the market. He buys his cow back. He tells people, never sell something you need, buy something you want.
Okay, that was the audio. And now let's see what happened in the story. First question for you is, what is the name of the farmer? Look what happens now. I ask a question on the reading and listening text, and it appears here as well. So what is the name of the farmer? Thomas or Thomas? It's Thomas. I submit it, and I get my answer. And I continue. His name is Thomas Flores. Is Thomas rich or poor? Again, they can see the question. Is Thomas rich or poor? I will answer wrongly now. So I get the correct answer and I click on continue. He's poor. He doesn't have a lot of money. And see how it's fully interactive. Although it's asynchronous, it's interactive. So they can do it in their own time, but we analyze the text together. And
Maria, the multiple choice exercises on this specific application on the Edpuzzle.
Yes, and I will show you how it works. I use Edpuzzle, which is great. So you record your screen first. And then you go to edpuzzle.com and you go to create content. You drag and drop your video there, and you add any quiz questions you want at any point on the video. And then you take this link and you copy it to your Edmodo class page. So they have everything on Edmodo. Δηλαδή, δεν θα σας στέλνουν μία email, μία μήνυμα, μία εδώ, μία στην πλατφόρμα του σχολείου. Η τάξη τους είναι το Edmodo.
Mm-hmm.
And everything they need to find is there. Of course, if you don't want to use Edpuzzle, you can upload your video on YouTube. But Edpuzzle is better. Edpuzzle is better because you can make it interactive with the questions. Now, this was for presentation, and then it's time for practice. And these are the things you can use: Kahoot Challenge, Mentimeter, as we said, Edmodo quizzes and Quizlet and other tools. I will show you Edmodo quizzes. So if you go to Edmodo here, do the Edmodo quiz. Τους φτιάχνεις ένα quiz στο Edmodo, πας εδώ που έχει το συν και φτιάχνεις create quiz. Και μπορείς να κάνεις true, false, open answer, multiple choice, matching, whatever you want. So let's write webinar, instructions here, whatever, quiz questions. You choose what kind of questions you want. Τα γράφεις εδώ ένα-ένα και μετά τους βάζεις, εδώ τους βάζεις deadline που ρώτησε πριν η Ελένη και εδώ μπορείς να τους βάλεις μέχρι πότε θέλεις να... Και μετά σου βγάζει στο progress, classes progress, πώς έχουν πάει στα quizzes. Να, εδώ ξέρω εγώ αυτοί έχουν κάνει 5 quizzes. Πώς έχουν πάει. And when we meet again, you can even, you know, you can export it or send it to parents or send the average, the mean score. Okay, so you can track their progress through their quizzes. Γι' αυτό είναι πιο ωραίο το Edmodo. And of course, you can use Quizlet. You can send them the important vocabulary on Quizlet. Let's see.
Μαρία, και στο Quizlet χρησιμοποιείς το normal version, γιατί μου βγάζει κάτι updates.
Όχι, το κανονικό χρησιμοποιώ, δεν έχω πάρει. Νομίζω τώρα δίνει ένα Pro δωρεάν, βέβαια.
Ναι, ένα μήνα.
Ναι, αλλά εγώ δεν το έχω πάρει. And they can learn the vocabulary, you know, like listen, you send them the link with the vocabulary they should study.
Αγχωμένος.
Nervous. And they can play different games or practice it here on the left column. And they can practice in their own time. And when you have your Zoom meeting, you can test them on these words, or you can upload an Edmodo quiz or a Kahoot challenge with these words. All right, let me go on. No, this is not what I want. Sorry. Okay. Or as I said, you can create a Kahoot challenge with these words you want to check, or with reading comprehension questions you want to check, or listening, or whatever. Now, for the production stage, which is the most difficult, they can either go to Flipgrid, that I will show you in a minute, and upload something there, a video challenge or something, or they can shoot their own videos with their phones and send them to you. They can use the voice recorder to record a tongue twister or a text you want them to read or to present something. And of course, for written production, this is the most difficult. They can use some writing web tools. Now, when it comes to skills, on Edmodo, you can have everything: reading, listening, speaking, writing, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation. For pre-reading, pre-writing, and pre-speaking activities, we can use Mentimeter. For reading comprehension purposes, Edpuzzle, Edmodo quizzes, and VOOCs. I will show you VOOCs in a minute. Listening comprehension, Edpuzzle, again, Edmodo quizzes, VOOCs, TED Talks, and podcasts. You can upload, especially for more advanced learners, podcasts with quizzes on Edmodo. For writing now, especially for exam prep classes, you can use Write and Improve from Cambridge, where students can send the writing and they can get feedback on it. Something similar is Paperator, but it's more detailed. They can upload the writing on Paperator and they get feedback on grammar, vocabulary, linkers, length of sentences, highlighted mistakes. So what I tell them is when I give them a topic for writing, first submit it to Paperator, check it, correct it, and then send it to me. So they learn a little bit of self-correction. And a great tool to prepare them for writing a topic is Learn English Teens. It's from the British Council, where it gives you step-by-step things they can do for vocabulary and ideas building before the writing topic is given to them. It's a 2-page thing, and you can give it to them to do on their own asynchronously, and then send you the writing. For vocabulary, Quizlet and Edmodo quizzes. For speaking, Flipgrid and real-life videos, I will show them to you. And for quizzes, there are millions of tools. Kahoot quizzes, Socrative, Edmodo quizzes, Quasilize, Gimkit. So it's the thing is, do you want to use that many?
Can I
sorry, we have a question
Yeah.
from Penno. When it comes to Zoom, yes, they need to download the app. Yes, Eleni?
Yes, I'm using Classroom Google because I only have my privates now, and I wanted to use Edpuzzle, but when I wanted to invite students, it asked me and said, do I have, again, a written consent? And I had to choose yes or no.
Don't invite students, just take the Edpuzzle link and upload it to your classroom.
Okay.
So you don't invite them, they just go to the link.
Okay.
Now, a little bit on assessment before I show you some examples of students' work. One thing you can start introducing is alternative assessment, which is very good. Ask students to grade themselves with marks, with numbers, numerically, quantitatively. It's important. They like it. It's like a game. But as I said before, it also teaches them to self-evaluate, but also ask them to do it non-quantitatively, but how well do I know that? How well do you feel you understood vocabulary about feelings? Since we're not there to check their work, make them responsible for checking their own work. It's great. It's a unique opportunity to teach a life skill that is very important. And in any case, we can track progress through Edmodo, through Kahoot challenges, and that's important, but it's not the most important thing right now, because the most important thing is for them to feel that we're still connected, there's still a school community that is not dull, that it's still creative and engaging and fun. And this gives them emotional support. Very important not to forget the human element. They need to see our faces. We need to send real life videos. I will show you how we created video challenges and total physical response activities. The most important thing in being in the human element is to see you from time to time. That's why I'm saying we need both synchronous and asynchronous. We cannot do everything on Zoom. That's why we need the asynchronous, but it's important for them to talk to you in real time, because this is the teacher's presence that they so much need. Here are some ideas of things you can assign for homework. To ask them to give a tour of their flat or their bedroom. They can show you on a video their bookcase and discuss their favorite book. They can show us a recipe. Everybody cooks these days. We're all going to get extremely fat. If they have a pet, they can present their pet and describe it, or describe a toy. For more advanced learners, they can show you a website they've been using these days and give you a virtual tour of it, like even Netflix. They can discuss memorable trips or experiences through Google Photos or a Google Map. And of course, with the higher levels, you can discuss articles and ask them to summarize them as a Google Doc and highlight the bits they agree or disagree with, you know, like we would do in class. Now, we ask them to...
κάνω
Ναι.
Μια ερώτηση για το homework. Αυτό το τεστάρουμε μετά, το ετοιμάζουν και μας το παρουσιάζουν στο real lesson.
Όχι, γιατί θα σου δείξω. Και έτσι και αλλιώς μπορείς. Εμείς κάποιοι τους τα βάζουμε για το real lesson, κάποια, ας πούμε, όπως τα vlogs αυτά. So we said, create your quarantine vlogs, video blogs, and look at some examples.
Hi, I'm Fotis.
B1.
And I will show you how I spend my day in quarantine. First, I get up, then I dress, and I go to the kitchen to eat something. Then I go again to my bedroom, I make my bed, and I open my window. If it has good weather, I will go outside to play with my dog or do something different. I play video games, or I surfing in social media and talk with my friends. I am drawing. In the noon, I'll eat my lunch. And if I had something from online homework from school, I do it. I play guitar or piano. And maybe I see some Netflix. In the afternoon, I eat something. And with my family, play board games or do something else. For example, today we did Just Dance. In the night, I eat something. And then I go to my bed to sleep. This is how I spend my day. Bye.
So this is one submission from one student.
Hi, I'm Fotis, and
this is another one, same class, B1.
I'm still at home. No school, no friends, no outdoor activities, but I'm still having fun. I study my homework. I read my favorite book, the Book of Grambling. I play the guitar. I fight with my brother and I listen to my favorite music.
So see, like they create interesting stuff and think that they're bored. So you can assign this for homework. We had lots of, I just chose two. Or we did our own vlogs. Teachers as well uploaded crazy things. And I'll show you, sorry, how we did some TPR activities as well. So I'll go to my classes on Edmodo, B Junior. One of the teachers started a video challenge. You can do it on TikTok. If you know TikTok, you can do it there as well. Okay, it's here. Is it here? No. We have lots of video challenges, but you know, the little ones need this TPR thing. So, okay, first I did it with my daughter. We did the hokey pokey. You'll see it now. And then other teachers and students started doing the same. And they were very cute. Okay, so look at Annie here. She did the head, shoulders, knees, and toes. And then students started doing it. Even pre-junior students. So you see, I mean, and we have lots of those. I'm telling you, even from pre-junior students, we have participations with video challenges because, you know, people have nothing to do. And
can students download them?
No, no, they cannot.
Others video? Okay.
No, they cannot download them. So, I mean, of course, online teaching cannot replace face-to-face teaching. I know there is a lot of discussion and even conflict among school owners these days to go online or not to go online. For me, there's not even a discussion. But at this point, we need to do online teaching, and that's it. And we have to make it as fascinating, as fun, as engaging, and as inspiring as possible, using all possible resources, synchronous and asynchronous. And now it's time to take your questions.
Can you tell us about Flipgrid?
Yes, I'll show you. I forgot to show it to you, sorry. I'll show it to you now. It's great.
And vlogs as well.
Yes, Vooks, it's called Vooks. Okay, let me open Vooks first. Vooks is a storytelling thing, but you don't have to use Vooks basically. You can also use YouTube or Oxford Owl. These are all free. Vooks is not free, but now it has an offer that it's free for a year, so you can find different books because we do a lot of storytelling with our students. So we ask them to read one of these books a week. We upload the book on Edmodo, and then we also create an Edmodo quiz on the book. So it's not just their course book; it's also
I am not big. See?
This was for a junior, for example.
They are just like me. You are small.
And Flipgrid is a platform where they can upload their videos. If they don't want to video record them on their phones and send them to you, they can upload them on Flipgrid. It's perfectly safe. I'll show you an example. Like, I don't know. Okay. So the question was about hobbies.
Μαρία, συγγνώμη, επειδή το έχασα λίγο, το Flipgrid τι ακριβώς είναι?
Είναι που μπορούν να ανεβάζουν τα βίντεο τους σε μια ερώτηση, ένα homework που τους έχεις βάλει, μπορούν να τα ανεβάζουν όλοι σε αυτή την πλατφόρμα ανατάξει. Άμα θέλεις, μπορείς να το κάνεις και στο Edmodo.
Hello, my name is Theodore. I'm going to be talking to you about my hobbies. My favorite hobbies are soccer and drawing. I like soccer and drawing because...
Δηλαδή, μπορείς να τους βάλεις οποιαδήποτε ερώτηση θέλεις για οποιοδήποτε θέμα and they can answer it on Flipgrid, but I mean, they can do it on a video on Edmodo.
Μαρία,
ναι.
Στο Books, τους κάνεις copy το link του βιβλίου που θέλεις να διαβάσουν?
Ναι, τους κάνω copy το link. Αλλά δεν χρειάζεται να είναι από Books. Δηλαδή, σας λέω, μπορείτε να το κάνετε και από το YouTube. Εγώ βρήκα από το YouTube όλα τα βιβλία που διαβάζουμε, because we have a library, like We're Going on a Bear Hunt, Gruffalo, The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Every book we read in class, I found it on YouTube. So you can just upload the YouTube video and then I give them a quiz on Edmodo about the book.
Άρα αυτοί το διαβάζουν μόνοι τους και μετά κάνουν το quiz και μετά το συζητάτε στο real lesson?
Όχι, δεν το συζητάμε καν στο real lesson. Καλά, μπορείτε να το κάνετε κιόλας, αλλά δεν έχει τύχει μέχρι τώρα να συζητήσουμε. Θα μπορούσατε όμως, ναι, βέβαια. And you can actually, that would be a nice idea, Evridiki. You can actually read the book in the Zoom lesson and show them.
Ναι, αυτό.
Ναι, είναι πολύ ωραία ιδέα αυτό, δεν το έχω σκεφτεί. Thank you. Questions?
Το pre-junior θα μπορούσαμε να κάνουμε που έχω τάξεις πρώτη δημοτικού.
Εμάς οι A-junior είναι πρωτάκια. Τα παιδάκια που σας έδειξα είναι από το A-junior first graders. Λειτουργεί τέλεια. Pre-junior as well. Κάνουμε πολύ TPR. Scavenger hunt. Bring me something red. Show me something pink. Depending on what you have taught, you can do the songs, you can do miming with the hands. I think that as teachers, we're extremely creative and extremely resourceful. And it's a pity not to use our creativity and our resourcefulness now when our students need it.
Okay. Αλλά για τα pre-junior, μία ώρα είναι στο synchronous lesson είναι αρκετή.
Είναι πάρα πολύ.
Είπαμε 40 λεπτά.
Ναι. Other questions?
Άλλα ways for dictation. Πώς αλλιώς μπορούμε να τσεκάρουμε το dictation?
Κοίταξε, και μέσα από το Quizlet, δηλαδή να τους δείχνεις τις κάρτες και να γράφουν ή να σου λένε. Ή μπορείς να τους δείξεις μια εικόνα με διάφορα πράγματα που είχαν για dictation και να τους λες, ξέρω εγώ, if I say the words, if you see it on the screen, clap your hands. If you don't see it, stay silent. If you want to check meaning, for example. Like a bingo, but on your screen. Δεν είναι τόσο δύσκολο. Η πρώτη φορά λίγο στο Zoom θα σας βγει ψυχή, θα σας ξέρει αλλά μετά από αυτό, it's fine. It's possible.
If you're using a quiz from Quizlet, do you record the grades of the students since they don't have you don't record them, you just have it for them, check their answers on their own?
But I mean, this is up to you. It's your decision. I only keep a track of their work on Edmodo quizzes, Kahoot challenges, and written tasks that I mark.
On Word documents?
Όχι, τους βάζω στο progress, στο Edmodo, τους βάζω βαθμούς για το γραπτό.
Okay. Yeah, which they upload in a Word document.
Or on Google Docs.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I will send you the recorded workshop in a while. I mean, after we finish, I will download it and send it to you. I want to thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anything you want, you can email me. Any follow-up questions you might think of later, you can send them to me. And do what you have to do, because the most important thing of all is to survive and be happy.
Yeah.
Εσύ, Μαρία μου, φιλάκια, miss you.
Thank you so much for everything. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you. Αγαπημένη, φιλάκια.
Bye.